old Sneelock. Here I have a Disston number 28 saw. It's called a toolbox saw, and it's probably called that because it's small enough to fit in a toolbox. Now I have another saw made by Disston. This one's called a Keystone, and it's a Keystone Defender made by Disston USA. This saw's a little older. This one's from the 50s. This one's probably, I don't know, 60s. The major difference between them is the number 28 is smaller. The hand size is just about the same. This one is only held on with 2 bolts. Now that's usually an indication of quality. This is a rather small saw to have 3 saw nuts in it. And this one only has 2, but you know, a saw this small really doesn't need much more than that. They're both 10 points per inch. This one I found to be really handy working in small areas. So I'm kind of pleased to be able to use this one. But to make this one work, I'm going to have to do as much work to this one as I did to this one. On the Defender, I had to clean off all the rust on the blade, sharpen it, set the blade, clean the toad up, put a new finish on it. I didn't have to take all the old finish off. I don't do that unless I absolutely have to. It's kind of nice to leave the old finish on there to let you know that it's an old saw. But this one, the old finish is pretty well gone. We'll have to see just what happens when I work on it. But for right now, I'm going to take some rust off. This is a paint scraper, but it does say use caution when changing blades, so it's probably made sometime in the 60s. It's a nice little thing. The blade retracts up inside the handle with a little thumb button, and I imagine a lot of you guys have one very similar to this, if not this kind. The nice thing about it is it takes the rust off, but it doesn't take off much steel. And when I'm first working on a saw, just like the Defender has the etch on it that tells me it's a Defender made by Disston, this one, I'm hoping, has something on here that says it's a 28. As I scrape away the rust, my hope is fading fast. Because the etch should be right here. Sometimes it's so faint you can only see it in just the right light, but side light, direct light, glancing light, nothing. The blade's pitted too. The funny thing about steel, the better the steel, the faster it rusts. The more carbon it has in it. This is made out of extremely good steel. I can bend it quite a bit and it springs right straight back. It's made out of good spring steel, but that means that it rusted pretty quickly. It also makes a difference which side is up. Quite often the side that sits on the bench doesn't rust as bad as the one that's sitting upright. Yep, no etch. So I'm going to stop working with a razor blade. Razor blade's nice only if you really want to save the etch, because it doesn't go down into the steel and scrape away the etch. But with the etch not being there, I can just pull the sandpaper out and go to town. But before I do that, I'm going to take the toad off. Now this one's actually fairly simple. I'm most of them, that saw nut won't come loose at all. But I see this one's been soaked in oil. And what I did there, I loosened up the screws, then I tapped on the saw nut, and what that does is it breaks the saw nut free of the wood. You have to be careful. You don't want to loosen it up too much, because the saw nut will actually sink down inside the wood, and if you push too hard on it, you'll pop splinters out of it. Knowing that there's not an etch on it, and that I really don't have a fantastic collector's saw here, I can make a really good user out of it and not worry a bit about damaging a priceless heirloom. Well, that's as far as I can get tonight. Put the saw nuts together so that I don't lose them. And I'll take some sandpaper to this, see what I've got when I'm done. I only get to work a little bit of time now. I've got a lot of other things going on, so if you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.